Imagine waking up one day, looking in the mirror, and realizing that the life you're living isn't really yours. It's a reflection of what others expected from you. What would you do if you knew your time was running out and you hadn't truly lived a single day for yourself? Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want you to pause and reflect on one truth that unites us all. Our time is limited. None of us knows how many days we have left. So why do we spend so much of that precious time trying to meet other people's expectations, live up to someone else's dreams, or follow a path we never chose for ourselves? Too often, we get trapped in roles society assigns us, the job we should have, the way we should look, the life we're supposed to live. We ignore our own passions and silence our inner voice, fearing judgment, failure, or rejection. But the truth is, every second spent living someone else's life is a second stolen from your own. You are the only person who truly knows what you love, what drives you, and what gives your life meaning. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Don't wait for permission to be yourself, because no one else can live your life for you, and no one else can define what success means to you. Take risks, make mistakes, learn, grow, but do it on your own terms. That is how you build a life worth living, a life that's truly yours. Remember, your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Thank you. 4 key points of the speech: time is finite. Use it wisely. Life is short and every moment counts. Don't spend your time on things that don't truly matter to you. Live authentically, not by others' expectations. Avoid letting society, peers, or tradition dictate your path. Choose the life that resonates with your values and passions. Listen to your inner voice. Trust your instincts and follow your own dreams, not those imposed on you. Make your life your own journey and embrace risk. Pursue growth and define success on your terms. Time is the one resource we all share equally, and yet it's the one thing we can never get back once it's gone. Unlike money, possessions, or status, time cannot be earned, borrowed, or saved. It moves forward relentlessly, indifferent to how we choose to spend it. That's why the way we use our time matters more than we often realize. Many people go through life on autopilot, waking up, going to work, fulfilling responsibilities, ticking boxes, without ever stopping to ask themselves whether they're actually living the life they want. They follow routines that were set for them by others, parents, society, culture, or peers, and never pause to examine whether those routines truly serve their happiness, fulfillment, or purpose. From the moment we are young, we are told what success should look like: get good grades, go to a reputable school, land a high-paying job, settle down, and follow a roadmap that was drawn long before we were born. But what happens when we blindly follow that path without questioning it? We risk waking up one day with a sinking feeling that we've been climbing the wrong ladder, chasing someone else's definition of success. And by then, we may have invested years, decades even, of our lives in something that was never truly ours to begin with. That's the cost of wasting our time living someone else's life. It's not just the missed opportunities. It's the erosion of our spirit, the quiet dissatisfaction that grows when we ignore our own voice. We often convince ourselves that we have time. We say we'll pursue our dreams later, we'll travel someday, we'll speak up when the time is right. But the truth is, later is not promised. None of us are guaranteed a long life, and even if we are lucky enough to live many years, we don't know what tomorrow brings. Waiting to live until everything is perfect, until everyone approves, until we feel 100% ready, it's just another way of wasting the limited time we have. Every moment spent delaying your truth is a moment that could have been used to build the life you actually want. Living wisely means being intentional. It means asking yourself what you value most, what brings you joy, and what makes you feel alive. It means choosing how you spend your hours, your energy, and your heart, not because someone else told you to, but because it aligns with your own sense of purpose. This doesn't mean being reckless or irresponsible. It means being courageous enough to live deliberately, to take ownership of your time, and to stop waiting for permission to be yourself. When you realize your time is limited, you stop wasting it on things that drain you. You begin to see through the noise, through the pressure to fit in or keep up. You start saying no to things that don't align with your values and yes to the things that do. That clarity can be incredibly freeing. It can give you the strength to break out of routines that no longer serve you and start making choices that reflect who you really are. And it's in those choices, in the decision to live your truth every day, that you begin to reclaim your time. You no longer live on someone else's timeline or according to someone else's vision. You become the author of your story, not just a character in someone else's script. And that, more than anything, is what it means to live a life of meaning and integrity. It begins with the awareness that your time is precious and too limited to waste. One of the most common traps people fall into is the pressure to live according to someone else's expectations. From a young age, we are shaped by the beliefs, values, and standards of the people around us. Parents, teachers, friends, and society all have ideas about who we should be, what we should do, and how we should live. While some of these intentions come from a place of love or concern, the result is often a life lived for others rather than ourselves. We become so used to following these external expectations that we rarely stop to ask if they align with our own desires and values. The danger in this is subtle but significant. When we constantly seek approval or validation from others, we lose touch with our own sense of identity. Living authentically means recognizing that you are not obligated to meet everyone else's standards. It means understanding that your worth is not defined by how well you fit into someone else's idea of success. Too often, people chase careers they don't love, stay in relationships that don't fulfill them, or pursue lifestyles that feel empty, all because they are trying to keep up appearances or avoid disappointing others. This kind of life may look good on the outside, but on the inside, it leaves you feeling disconnected and unfulfilled. You can pretend for a while, but eventually, the gap between who you are and who you are pretending to be becomes too wide to ignore. That's when the dissatisfaction creeps in, the quiet frustration, the sense of being trapped, the feeling that something important is missing. The fear of judgment is a powerful force. We worry that if we choose a different path, people will criticize us, abandon us, or question our choices. We fear being misunderstood, labeled as selfish or foolish, or simply not living up to what others expected of us. But the truth is, no one else is living your life. No one else has to wake up every day and feel what you feel. No one else carries your dreams, your experiences, or your inner voice. That voice is yours alone, and it exists for a reason. It is trying to guide you toward what is right for you, not what is right for everyone else. Letting go of others' expectations is not about being rebellious or dismissive. It's about honoring yourself enough to choose authenticity over approval. It's about having the courage to say, this is who I am, and this is the life I want to live, even if that means standing alone at times. The people who truly love you will support you when they see that you are being true to yourself. And those who don't, those who only accept you when you meet their expectations, may not be the people who belong in your life in the first place. You do not owe anyone a version of yourself that is watered down or shaped to please them. Your uniqueness, your passions, and your truth deserve to be lived fully. When you start living for yourself instead of for others, you'll begin to experience a deeper kind of freedom. You'll find that life becomes more vibrant, more meaningful, and more aligned with who you really are. It's not always easy, and it may take time to untangle yourself from the weight of others' expectations, but the reward is worth it. You get to live a life that reflects your spirit, your values, and your purpose. And that is a life no one else can live for you. Inside each of us, there is a voice that quietly speaks the truth. It's not loud, not always easy to hear, but it's there. This voice is your intuition, your inner guide, and it knows what truly matters to you. It speaks in moments of stillness, in the quiet space between distractions, and it nudges you toward the things that make you feel alive, connected, and purposeful. But too often we ignore this voice. We dismiss it as unrealistic, inconvenient, or impractical. We drown it out with noise from the outside world, opinions, trends, comparisons, obligations, until it becomes faint and distant. And in silencing that voice, we lose touch with who we really are. Listening to your inner voice takes courage. It often tells you things you may not want to hear. It may tell you to walk away from a job that pays well but drains you. It may urge you to end a relationship that looks fine from the outside but feels empty on the inside. It may guide you toward a path filled with uncertainty, one that doesn't guarantee success or approval, but one that feels more real than any path you've been on before. That's the thing about your inner voice. It won't always point you toward comfort, but it will always point you toward truth. And in a world that constantly tries to shape us, pull us in different directions, and tell us who we should be, that truth is more valuable than ever. Trusting your inner voice means being honest with yourself. It means asking the hard questions. Am I happy with where I am? Am I doing what I love? Am I living in alignment with my values? These questions aren't always easy to answer, and sometimes the answers can be unsettling. But ignoring them only leads to a life filled with regret and missed opportunities. When you listen to your intuition, you begin to make choices that feel right, even if they don't make sense to everyone else. You start living a life that feels like your own, not one borrowed from others. The challenge is that the world is loud. Social media, advertising, and constant connectivity bombard us with messages about who we should be and what we should want. We are told to chase success, beauty, popularity, and perfection, often at the cost of our own peace and authenticity. When you're always listening to what the world wants from you, it becomes difficult to hear what your soul wants for you. That's why creating space for reflection is essential, whether it's through quiet time, journaling, walks in nature, or simply moments of stillness. Finding ways to reconnect with yourself is how you begin to hear that inner voice again. Your inner voice won't always give you clear instructions. Sometimes it comes as a feeling, a sense of knowing, or a gut instinct that something is right or wrong. The more you practice listening to it, the stronger it becomes. You start to recognize the difference between fear and intuition, between ego and wisdom. And over time, you build a relationship with yourself that is grounded in trust and self-respect. There is a deep kind of confidence that comes from living in alignment with your inner voice. It's not the confidence that comes from external validation or applause. It's the quiet certainty that you are on your path, doing what feels right for you. That kind of confidence can't be taken away because it's rooted in something unshakable, your own truth. When you honor that truth, you begin to build a life that is not only meaningful, but deeply fulfilling. You stop chasing approval and start pursuing purpose. And that changes everything. Life is not meant to be a copy of someone else's journey. Each person is born with a unique set of experiences, dreams, talents, and perspectives. When you try to live like someone else, you deny the one-of-kind path that is meant for you. Your life is a story, and you are the author. The choices you make, the risks you take, and the lessons you learn are all parts of that unfolding narrative. But many people go through life letting someone else hold the pen. They make decisions based on fear, habit, or pressure, and they end up following a script that was written by others. Over time, they lose sight of what they truly want and begin to feel like passengers in their own lives. Choosing to make your life your own journey begins with awareness. You must first recognize where you've been following a path that isn't really yours. It could be a career that no longer excites you, a lifestyle that doesn't reflect your values, or a version of success that leaves you feeling empty. Once you realize that you've been living by default rather than by design, you can begin to shift. This shift doesn't have to be sudden or dramatic. It starts with small decisions that reflect your true self. The more you choose in alignment with your own values and desires, the more your life begins to feel like it belongs to you. Taking ownership of your journey also means embracing responsibility. You stop blaming others for your situation and start taking control of what you can change. This doesn't mean that everything is in your hands. Life is unpredictable, and there are many factors outside your control. But your response to those challenges is entirely up to you. When you stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect approval, you start to move forward on your own terms. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being willing to explore and learn as you go. There's incredible freedom in living a life that reflects who you really are. When you're not trying to meet other people's expectations or fit into someone else's mold, you can use your energy to grow, create, and experience life fully. You can try things that scare you, make mistakes without shame, and pursue dreams that others may not understand. This is not a selfish way of living. It is an honest one. In fact, the more you live with authenticity and purpose, the more you inspire others to do the same. Your journey becomes an example not of perfection, but of courage and self-respect. Owning your life also involves resilience. When you live according to your own terms, you will face obstacles. People may question your choices, and you will encounter setbacks. But those setbacks are part of your growth. They're not failures, they're chapters in your story. And because you are living a life that's true to you, those challenges become meaningful. You begin to see struggle not as something to avoid, but as something to learn from. Every step you take, even the difficult ones, helps shape the person you are becoming. The beauty of making your journey your own is that it never has to look like anyone else's. You are free to change directions, to reinvent yourself, to redefine what success means at any point. Life is not a straight line, and it's certainly not a competition. It is a deeply personal, evolving experience. When you give yourself permission to live in a way that reflects your truth, you find a deeper sense of peace. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others because you are no longer living for them. You are living for you, and that is more than enough. You have one life, one chance to write your own story, follow your own dreams, and be unapologetically you. Don't wait for permission. Don't waste another moment living by someone else's script. Your time is limited, so make sure it's your life you're living. And live it fully, truthfully, and fearlessly.